Okay, so this is first test here to see if computer power supply will function under full mineral waters or mineral oil submersion. As you can see, I got my voltmeter here. This is monitoring the 12 volt feed from one of the Molex connectors. See that here. And I also have a computer hooked up to it, which is this board here. It's a Pentium 4. It was extracted from a render node, and it's hooked to this monitor. I do not have a hard drive connected to the board. I'm just going to start it up and let it sit at the boot screen, and I figure as long as it stays on that, we'll know that the power supply is functioning properly. Alright, so pretty much what I'm going to do is just fire this thing up and start pouring in the mineral oil. And as you can see, I got 2 bottles of Rite Aid brand mineral oil, lubricant and laxative. Okay, we're going to begin the test. I am now turning on the power supply. Alright. Okay, we're getting voltage and the PC has started up. Alright, everything appears to be functioning normally. And you can see there's no fans in here. There were originally 2 fans inside this power supply and a temperature control unit. I removed both of these because they won't be needed anymore now that we're going to be submerging it. And the power supply is not making any noise except for slight buzzing. So here goes. I'm putting in the first bottle now. Alright, so the first bottle's in. Things seems to be going okay so far. And here goes the second one. Alright, everything still seems to be functioning normally, and it appears I may have miscalculated, and it's not completely submerged. It's like almost there, and I am now out of mineral oil, so this is as much as I'm going to get. I should use a smaller container, and this stuff is not necessarily cheap, especially when you buy it in this size. Each one of these is about $7. I'm going to let this run for a while and just kind of keep an eye on it and make sure nothing catches on fire. Everything seems to be going okay right now. Haven't had any voltage fluctuation, and the computer seems to be running okay. You see it's non-conductive. I can stick my finger in here without any worries, as long as I don't touch anything. Alright, so I'd call this a successful test of fully submerged computer power supply components under mineral oil submersion. Okay, so the test has now been running for approximately 2 hours, give or take maybe 20 minutes. Everything still seems to be running normally. It seems like the mineral oil level has gone down a ways, which probably due to bubbles that have just come out from various places. Everything seems to be running fine. Haven't had any voltage drop at all. It's still holding steady at 11.86. On the that's on the 12 volt Molex connector, the hard drive CD-ROM connector. As far as I can tell, this power supply is running fine. I haven't noticed any heat at all. I touched the heat sinks; they both appear to be cool. Because I'm paranoid, I turned it off before I did that, so it was off for a couple minutes. But other than that, it's been running non-stop for the last about 2 hours. And I would say this is a viable option. If you really want to keep something cool, like your power supply, you will have no problem submerging it in mineral oil. The next test I'm going to do is with a computer motherboard and a power supply. I have to get some more mineral oil and probably a small fish tank, but hopefully I'll be able to do that within the next couple weeks, and I'll be posting that as soon as I get that done. Oh, and just a little side note here, someone had asked me to try doing this with a hard drive, because that's kind of been a controversy with mineral oil based computers, and as you can see I have this hard drive and I did try submerging it, and not surprisingly it died. It lasted about 10 hours and started making a clicking noise, and as far as I can tell it absorbed about maybe 12 tablespoons of mineral oil, so I'm guessing the whole inside of the case is probably filled. Now the hard drive does have a bleeder hole, which is or whatever you call it, breather, bleeder, whatever, I don't know, which it specifically tells you do not cover any of the drive holes. But I did try this test again, or actually no, the first test I tried was with the breather hole covered, and that hard drive lasted for approximately 18 hours until I uncovered the breather, and then it died 10 hours later. So I'm assuming that that breather hole is probably the only way that mineral oil could get into the hard drive. So if you did want to use a hard drive in a fully submerged application, you would have to plug the breather hole and do so at your own risk, because I don't know what will happen. So that's it for today. I'm gonna check back once I figure out how I'm gonna do the rest of the computer.